everyone, to another episode of the world's greatest news and reviews. I'm Captain Mal.
Well, I'm Weapon 2, and as we're approaching Halloween, watch for ghosts, goblins, and masked people that might want to stab you in the spleen.
Spleen stabbings are the worst.
I mean, just be safe out there. I mean, I don't even know what a spleen does.
I'm pretty sure it would hurt to get stabbed in it,
Probably
though.
don't. Yes, exactly.
Right?
It's something you don't want stabbed.
I don't think so, sir. And thank you for joining us on this episode of the world's greatest podcast, episode 8?
We're 8.
Hey, we're almost at 10. That's 2 away, guys. And once again,
you're good at math.
For those of you watching on the YouTubes, your eyes do not deceive you. For the 3rd month in a row, we are joined by a special guest. Hey, who the hell are you?
My name is General Thaddeus, a.k.a. Steve.
General Thaddeus.
Sounds very official.
General Thaddeus sounds like a much cooler name, so we're going to roll with that.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Are you excited to be here?
Thank you.
Okay.
Might General Thaddeus be a Red Hulk reference?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Absolutely.
But are you excited to be here?
I've been waiting for a very long time, yes.
I'll tell that to your face. Thank you for joining us. And as you can tell, we got the Halloween theme going in full swing because you'll probably be watching this around Halloween time. He's a big angry Viking. I'm the Batman, and he's
and I'm a general manager at a restaurant.
Hey, you know what? Every time I
You
have
look
an issue,
more like an assistant manager.
yeah, you're not that. But every time Applebee's fucks up my order, you make it right, and
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
And I expect 10 out of 10 stars.
You always comp my appetizer. I appreciate
it's great.
it. I
It's
wanna
good
thank you.
size. Okay, so as you guys might notice, an illustrious member of our crew is not here. Mr. T. Crawler could not make it because of reasons we're not going to get into. But fuck him, right? Because he doesn't care about you guys the way that all of us do.
Well, I mean, he could be out saving the world. Do you think that's a possibility?
No. Like, not even a little bit.
I believe in him, though.
I don't believe in him at all. But because he's not here, so we have to do shout-outs and talking about our top fans and polls and all that kind of stuff. This is his segment. Thanks, we're carrying your load. That sounded fucking terrible. Okay, so let's start with, what are we doing, polls?
Polls sound, yeah, let's do this
shout-outs.
stuff,
I want to
man.
do shout-outs.
Shout-outs.
I want to do shout-outs.
Who are we shouting it out to? The
We are
top
going to
fans?
shout out to our top fans.
I'm a top fan of the top fans. I want everybody to know that. I'm your top fan.
And
top
unlike T. Crawler, I'm going to name every single one of our top fans.
Yeah,
because
that's the way you
I
do
care.
it.
Minus admins, because we all know that we're top fans. But first one I got, John Hale. He is a longtime top fan, going on 4 weeks now.
Way to go, John.
You're a winner.
You are a winner. You've been a winner for a long time.
John's my uncle.
Is he?
He's my father's brother.
God, no wonder he's so fucking awesome. You could just tell. Another one, Miss Hailstorm. Also
That's
a top
right.
fan. Going for 3 weeks now.
I want to say we called her out on the last podcast, and within days, it might have been.
It was the next day, I think.
Boom!
Yeah.
Top fan status.
Way to step up, rise up to the challenge and the occasion. Next one we got going on 2 weeks now. Top fan, Caleb Whistle. How the fuck do you say that? Caleb Whistle? Weissel?
I'm gonna say Wilts.
Caleb Wiltz? Whatever, doesn't matter. You're a top fan. You know who I'm talking about.
Wiltsy.
2 weeks now. What?
Wiltsy.
And if,
Wiltsy.
and if
Caleb
we
Wiltsy.
said it wrong, I want to let you know that we appreciate you anyways. And please correct us.
Correct
because
us.
We want to say it right.
Tell us that we're stupid. Next one, Scott Simon is back as a top
There
fan.
we go!
Going on a
Yes.
week, he brought
There
it
we
back.
go!
He brought it
I
back.
know him.
After getting shit talked. Next one we got Mr. John Hartz is also
John
a top fan
Hartz!
for 1 week.
Holy cow! Is that H. Dresden?
That is gonna be H. Dresden when he inevitably makes his debut on the podcast. He is a guest star coming up. Mr. Johnny Scott's new top fan.
Nice, Johnny Scott.
I
way
know
to go.
him.
That's another person we know. Harry C. Gray. No idea who this person is.
Who?
That guy.
All right. Oh,
Hey, new top fan. I don't know who that is. Who is that?
Harry Gray. I
Harry
don't
Gray.
know.
Don't
Way
know.
to go.
You might be someone we don't actually know. That's
He
so
looks like a
exciting.
Chicago Bears fan, but we love him anyways.
That's fine as long as he's not a Seahawks fan, huh?
You.
Who's this? Sean Wilskam,
Yes.
top
yes.
fan for 2 months.
Yes.
Big shout out to
Yes.
Lloyd Anthony, top fan
Nice.
for a month. Also wanted to shout out to him personally because he comments and likes on a lot of shit.
Way to go.
He's the one who suggested a really cool poll that we just did. So keep the suggestions coming, bro.
It's people like you that make the difference.
It
I
is.
just want to let you know.
Top fan Ryan Botcher, top fan for a month.
Way to go. Way to go.
On 3, we're gonna say fuck Spoo. 1, 2, 3. Fuck Spoo. Top fan for a month. Fuck that guy. Yeah, and Laura Land, she's a new top fan. So
Come
thank
on,
you
Laura,
to
welcome
all of our
aboard.
top fans. Another one.
Welcome aboard.
Not a top fan. I want to shout out to Justin Duffy. You're awesome. You're commenting on the podcast. You've entered the last giveaway. You know what? I appreciate you, but you need to work just a little bit harder to become a top fan. That'll be great, bro. So yeah, that's a shout out to each and every one of our top fans.
Congratulations, everybody.
Absolutely. I love Spoo, though.
Yeah. What's
I'm
that?
a fan. I'm a fan of Spoo.
Well,
I don't know who this person is. Who is
Wonderful.
this?
You know.
People say I look like him.
I don't think I've met Spoo. No,
Spoo is.
I'm too busy protecting Gotham, bro. I don't know who Spoo is.
Kind of a little bit like him.
That's what everyone says.
Yeah.
So like he's
He's
an
kinda-
assistant manager at Outback.
Yeah.
Your competitor.
Red
He's the
hair,
general
glasses, and you know.
Yep.
They're a little different. I mean, they're not twinsies or anything.
All right.
Close.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna say it.
It's a compliment.
All white people look alike. It's fine. It
Wow. You're right.
like you do. Okay, those are our Anybody else got
You
a shout
stopped
out?
yourself for a second. You
I
almost
did.
say
Well,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
I thought better of it. Okay. Any other shout outs that we want to do real quick?
I don't know, man. I just want to say, hey, everybody, thanks for being top fans. Thanks for your participation on the Facebook page. Together we'll change the world.
Like, share, subscribe, do all that. Keep it up, guys. We do all this for you. Also, forgot to mention this at the beginning, but since there are only three of us, producer Harvey actually has a mic and the headphones. Say hi, Harvey.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh my God, that's his voice. I haven't heard it in so long.
You like it?
No, I hate it. It's terrible. Never
It
do
sounds
it.
like
Come on.
velvet.
We're going to work out a series of blinks from now on. I don't like it at all. All right, so let's move on. Let's do some polls. So once again, this is T. Crawler's job. I'm really picking up his slack. We're going to talk about some polls that we had on the page. A few really good ones. One in particular that I really want to talk about because everybody was wrong. But this one is a poll from Weapon 2.
All right. It's going to be a good one.
This battle's going to get all swords and sandals, folks. Hunker down behind your shield wall and tell us who you think would win this one. We have Achilles versus Leonidas.
There you go.
So Achilles won this poll, 63% to 37%. I kind of agree with that. General Thaddeus.
I agree. No,
You agree
I
with
agree
that?
fully. I actually lived in Mexico when they were filming Troy.
Sure,
So
shut up.
I'm always yes.
That's where did you get to see? Did you get to see any of it? Or
Were
No.
you an extra?
I tried to be, but no, they were paying $50 a day on that.
That's good money in Mexico.
I would do
Yeah,
that. for free.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Buy a
man.
How
house.
many
Yeah.
how many pesos is that? What's the conversion rate?
70,000.
I don't know if that math checks out, but we're gonna go with it.
Yep.
But a few people actually made really good comments on this, including top fan John Hartz. Everybody just kind of gets wrapped up in Leonidas being this badass guy from the movie 300. They forget that Achilles is a fucking demigod, and he Hector, I feel, is on par as good of a fighter as any straight up human being can be, and at least in the movie, Achilles fucking destroys him without trying.
Right.
I don't know if Leonidas would put up a better fight. How do you guys think that fight would actually go one-on-one? Do you think Leonidas would touch him? Would he put up a fight, or would Achilles just smoke him?
I think Achilles would stab him in the neck.
Yeah, I'd probably
I
go
think
that
he
way.
would probably smoke him rather
Yeah.
easily. I don't even think
Yeah.
it would be as close as this voting should have been.
Yeah. It's just fun.
It's fun, but I think the right person won this one. Okay, moving on. This is a poll that was suggested by top fan Lloyd Anthony. Thank you for this suggestion. This was a great poll and got a lot of great conversation going. And this might be, correct me if I'm wrong, Weapon 2, I think this is our only poll to actually end 50-50.
That is the only one. It's never happened before.
Never happened before.
This is groundbreaking.
This is actually quite interesting. All right, so we have a battle between a fully adult, fully powered Franklin Richards, the most powerful mutant beyond Omega level, versus a fully powered Dark Sentry, a.k.a. Void. What did you guys think? This is 50-50 right down the line. Who did you vote for, General Thaddeus?
Franklin Richards.
Okay, why? We got to get into it. Dive deep. Do it.
I voted the same thing you did. Can't Franklin Richards build universes?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, that's kind of how powerful he is. That's why I did.
That's godlike.
He can,
Yeah.
So he can manipulate reality and shit, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's why. Who'd you vote for? Captain Mal?
I voted for Void.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go.
And there's a reason behind that.
Go on.
Yeah.
The reason is the poll was about to close and Franklin Richards was winning by 1.
So you just
And I really wanted it to just end in a tie.
Way to go.
So I waited
Way
for
to
the
go.
last second.
Way to make history.
I did. You're welcome to all of you guys. No, but really, I know a lot about Sentry. I don't really know shit about Franklin Richards. And after researching it, I was like, I don't really think Sentry would win. But yeah.
Yeah, no, it was good though. It's a good poll.
So how does Franklin Richards compare to somebody like Legion? Isn't Legion have kind of reality bending shit too? Are they close power wise, or is Franklin Richards?
I feel like Franklin Richards is one of maybe the top. I'm gonna say top 5, but I guarantee he's close if he's not in the top 5 of all the most powerful characters in the Marvel universe. I mean, he's got to be in the top 10 for sure.
Well, because you're talking about manipulating reality,
Number
like
7.
you're getting on like Beyonder level there, aren't you?
Yeah,
Like
you
that's
really
that's
are.
crazy
You really
fucking
are.
power.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean he's told to be one of the most powerful people.
I
in the
know
Marvel
that
universe.
Void has like wrecked like Hulk and Thor and Captain Marvel all at the same time, like without trying. But that seems to be more physical
different
power.
level.
That's like
Right.
physical power.
Right.
Like, it's
Yeah.
like he's a powerful superhero.
I think they say Sentries is as powerful as like a million exploding suns.
yeah,
or
yeah, the
something
power
like that.
of a million exploding suns or stars or some shit
something
like
like
that. Yeah.
that, yeah.
Which I mean, that's not nothing.
Yeah, no, it is something.
Nothing to shake a stick at. That's what I say.
No, it wouldn't even do any good to shake a stick at that.
Not
Even
even.
two
Not even a
sticks.
world of sticks.
All right, so I think we all agree Franklin Richards probably should have won that. Okay, moving on. Next poll that I got. This is another one from Weapon 2. Just
Oh my
killing
God,
it in the
that
polls
guy's-
lately.
That guy's a prodigy.
In this
He's
battle.
a poll prodigy.
Double entendre. Between two former sidekicks that have come into their own, these dudes are ruthless. There will be blood.
I just want to say the writing in the description of these polls is it's artistic.
Way better than anything T.
beautiful.
Crawler
It's
does.
poetry.
Way better than anything T. Crawler does. On one side, we have Red Hood. On the other side, the Winter Soldier. Now, I get why you went with this matchup. I personally think a better fight would be Nightwing versus Winter Soldier. But Red Hood and Winter Soldier are more quick to kill you and use guns and shit. So
Yes.
I get that. I think in a straight up fight, no weapons, I think Dick Grayson's a better fighter than Jason Todd. But I see why you went with this. This makes more sense, I think. So Winter Soldier won 63% to 37%. Do we think that's accurate?
I think that it probably him winning might be accurate, maybe a little closer than that. I thought it would be closer than that.
I think this is just because he's prevalent in the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people know who Red Hood is. I
Yeah.
feel like this should have been a much closer vote. I voted Red Hood. I feel like you're trained by Batman, but you're willing to cross the line and kill, use guns, all that. The only thing I think Bucky has on him is he's enhanced versus Jason Todd is not.
Right.
And the metal arm. But I really feel like Red Hood would win this. But what do you think?
No, I agree. You know what? I actually like Winter Soldier.
Yeah, so do I.
He's just a stud.
He's so dreamy.
Yeah.
That's Sebastian
That
Stan.
hair. I mean,
He makes me want to grow mine back out. It just waves. No, but for real, who do you think would win?
When the wind
Winter
catches
Soldier.
his hair just the right way.
Yeah. I've always loved Winter Soldier ever since he showed up. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
No, fanboy, I get it. That's fine.
Yep.
But okay, I
all
do
jittery.
feel like that was a good matchup.
He
though.
just has an intangible. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
All right, moving on. Last poll that I got. This is the one I really want to talk about. This one was posted by our boy Venom, Facebook admin. We got two super soldiers on a one from the past, the other from the future. No prep time. Battle of New York City. We have Master Chief from the Halo video games versus Captain America. Captain America won 59% to 41%. I assume both of you voted Captain America.
Yeah. You know why? Because we don't really play video games.
Thaddeus,
Okay.
who'd you vote?
Well, I definitely voted for Captain America because America.
America. And so I am actually a huge fan of the Halo video games. And I feel like this was very one-sided because a lot of people don't know Master Chief and what he is actually capable of. John Hart's top fan posted on there a brilliant description. I was arguing on there, and he just totally had my back and wrote very well-reasoned argument as to why
Read it.
the entire thing. I don't have
Maybe.
it. I don't have it launched up. I'd have to,
Okay.
I'd have to
I
dig
don't know.
through.
It's all right.
But here's the thing. So the basis of it is this. What you guys don't understand is Captain America, right? He enlisted in the army. He got the super soldier serum. He's peak human. He was trained. He's a brilliant fighter, brilliant tactician. He has the shield and all that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
At 6 years old, John, Spartan 117, and everyone else in the Spartan 2 program were abducted from their families, cloned, and then the clone was given back to them. They were chosen because of their superior genetics. They were literally perfect. They were going to be peak human anyway, regardless of what the fuck happened. Then they were put into the strictest, cruelest military training imaginable. Think of kind of like that Kurt Russell movie, The Soldier, how they just like beat the fuck and train them since they were children to be the perfect killing machines. Then at the age of 14, when they were described as having bodies of like 18-year-old Olympians, went under severe biomechanical alterations and enhancements that put him to basically superhuman levels. So he has had superior training for longer than Captain America. And you could argue that even without any kind of enhancements, he would be at least close to peak human. With the enhancements, the argument can be made he's at least on par with Captain America, but probably has better training and has been training longer. On top of that,
I need a readout of the enhancements. I need to know exactly what the enhancements.
Oh,
were.
I can find it. I'm not going to find it now on the fucking podcast, but I'll bring it up to you. But they are.
I don't have all the data. I need to make that.
They're crazy.
decision
He's
right here,
literally
right now.
that awesome. And then he has the Mjolnir armor, the Mark IV armor, which is basically a flightless Iron Man suit with an overshield and an AI assistant Cortana that helps him plan out all his moves. I'm just saying, if it's out of the armor, this is a very, very, very good fight and could go either way. In the armor, straight up fight, there's no freaking way Captain America wins this. That's all I'm saying.
That is
Wow.
what you are saying.
That is what I'm
Right.
saying.
Yeah.
So I see the argument, but I
Although
just,
Captain America's taken on Tony Stark in his armor
and
I know-
lost
okay,
and lost.
Well,
and Tony Stark is so put Captain America versus Captain America in Iron Man armor. Captain America in the Iron Man armor is going to win because Tony Stark doesn't have the fighting ability Captain America has, right?
yeah, he's just a rich guy.
He's just a rich guy. But you put someone who has at least on par, if not superior fighting ability. You put Batman in an Iron Man suit, he's going to beat the fuck out of Captain America.
But give Captain America Thor's hammer.
Fine. And now, you
about
know
that.
what? Yeah, okay, well, now he's going to win. Calm down. Now we're just getting crazy, guys.
Well,
now it's
that's the
kangaroo
same.
court. It's all, exactly. But you're just giving an amazing fighter more power.
Right. So I hear what you're saying when you're talking about, it sounds like Third Reich Germany when you're speaking of the genetic engineering and stuff. And then we have Captain America. Who wins that fight? America.
Yeah, you know why?
That's ridiculous.
Because he stands for freedom
Yep.
And freedom.
and truth and justice.
Yep.
Well, you know what? Master Chief 117, Spartan, he stands for the UNSC, the United Nations Space Command. He stands for all of mankind, not just one planet. He stands for all of us together, standing up against extinction, against extermination, against annihilation and the Covenant threats. He saved the entire universe, all of humanity spread out across the stars, not just one country.
Single-handedly, no.
Yes, he did, actually. Single fucking handedly. He did. He is a one-man army.
Okay, I hear what you're saying.
Okay.
Are we moving on?
We can move on as long as you guys know you're wrong. Okay, so let's move on and do some news.
All right.
So, Mr. Weapon 2, what do you
Yes.
what do you think about the Batman movies that coming up?
The Batman movies, I'll tell you what. I reserve my right to make my decision when I see the movie because I'm skeptical of the shiny vampire that's going to be playing Batman, but I'm kind of fond of the casting of the Catwoman, who's going to be Zoe Kravitz, and so I think that's going to be good. I'm going to tell you something right now. Whether they made a good story about the best story about the Joker, what they did was make a really good movie about a Joker story. And if they can make another really good movie like that, I would be impressed. What do you think?
I'm not happy with Twilight Sparkle Boy Vampire being Batman. I don't like it at all. I think that is stupid. If you guys want to know what we really think, check out our, what is his name? The actor's name? He has a name. Nobody cares.
I can't remember.
I don't know. We posted a video, Weapon 2 and I, about our reaction to the announcement of him being cast as the Batman. We were not kind in the video. You know what? People can surprise you. You know what? Maybe he'll give us shit. Maybe he'll bulk up. Maybe he'll be a good Batman. I'm not hopeful. This chick, Zoe Kravitz, I don't really know much about her. What has she been in? She been in anything? Wasn't she? She was in something recently, wasn't she? I don't know.
I'm just a big fan of her father and stepfather.
Well, Momoa's her stepdad, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yep.
And Lenny Kravitz is her dad.
That's cool. I'm sure that'll translate to being a great Selena Kyle. But here's the thing. Would you even want her to be Selena Kyle, or would you just want her to be a totally different character?
I would want her to be at least have the proper name, Selena Kyle. I think that they should be true to the comics. I don't think they should make up names. I'm absolutely not a fan of that.
What do you think?
Oh no, I agree with you.
Can we all agree that Birds of Prey looks terrible? No. Can we agree on that? Has everybody watched that trailer?
Yeah.
That looks so fucking bad. Like, are you kidding me?
It looks like somebody on YouTube tried to make a movie.
It looks like...
It looks like fan.
It does.
Yeah.
It looks like a fan-made thing. Everything looks cheap. The costumes look good. First of all, why is this movie even called Birds of Prey? It should just be called Harley Quinn or the Fabulous Emancipation of the One Harley Quinn or whatever the fuck that stupid title is. That's all that trailer was.
Right.
It was just Harley Quinn. Fine. Margot Robbie's hot. I get it. But even her costume looks dumb as shit. Was she just wearing overalls or some shit?
Yeah.
And you have Canary in there who does not look like fucking Canary at all. I'm not even talking about the actress. I'm just saying the outfit they have her in looks dumb. Like if you would have shown me that, like, hey, is this Black Canary? Like, no, I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to be. She looks stupid. Huntress looks stupid. And I love Mary Elizabeth Winstead, but she looks dumb as fuck. The whole thing looks dumb. Ian McGregor's in there. Is he supposed to be Black Mass? I don't know what's going on. That thing looks dumb as fuck. But back to Catwoman, huh? Sorry, I got on our soapbox there. Yeah. I don't think that movie looks good. I'm not excited.
Here's the thing. I want these movies to be good. And so I'll have to wait and see. I hope they're going to start making good movies. I'd love to see some really good DC movies.
And look, here's the thing. You're right. I don't want any comic book movie to be bad. I was, for lack of a better term, got a little bitchy leading up to Joker about that movie, and I was pleasantly surprised. Because you're right. Regardless of how true that might have been to the comic character, they made a great movie.
Yeah.
Like a really great movie.
Yep.
And I walked out of that theater, watched our Joker review, and I straight up was like, I was wrong. That was a great movie. Have you seen the Joker yet?
You know what? I have not. I work too much.
That's fair. I sacrifice a lot of sleep. Sometimes I don't go to work when I should to watch movies. But I do that for you, the tens of fans, citizens. Yeah, so like that was a great movie. I want it to be good. I want all the DC movies to be good. I've just been disappointed over and over and over.
Well, maybe they can start turning things around.
I don't think so.
All right.
Next up in news, I have Terminator Dark Fate. The next Terminator movie. You look like you have some thoughts.
I love Terminator.
Okay.
That is Arnold Schwarzenegger is my favorite ever.
That's fair. But what did you think of the last few Terminators? So our general consensus is Terminator 1, fantastic. Terminator 2, one of the greatest action movies of all time.
Ever.
After that, like I thought the one with Christian Bale was okay. I like just because it was different.
Yes.
I thought that was cool. I like seeing the post world and like what was going on there.
I agree.
But then after that, like 3 was whatever, and then Terminator Genisys, they just totally are just like they're just trying to retell the same story.
Right.
But it's a great story, but really just watch 2, and then you don't need anything else. But what do you think? Why are you into the Terminators?
I just love the story of the Terminator. I've always been a huge fan of the Terminator. That was my first rated R movie I ever saw in my life.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, so it has a special place in my heart. Plus, it was the first movie that I saw with nudity in it. So that was.
It's funny how you remember your first. My first rated R movie that had a split second of boob was Anaconda, 1997. Jennifer Lopez. Yeah.
Oh, there's boob in that?
For a split second, and like you had to have the VHS ready, and you have to pause it just right. And with the pause, it has the blur. So sometimes it's down here, and the other part's up here, and you have to go back a little. It was. You kids nowadays don't know how easy you have it with smartphones.
Right.
It was rough back in the day.
There's a certain part of that movie that just is fuzzy because it was played a little too much.
Yes, every single time. But anyway, so that's cool. I like Terminator. Again, this is one of those. I would like this to be good. Yeah. What do you think of the trailers though? Or have those got you excited?
You know what? Actually, the trailers, it kind of looks a little too. For me, it feels a little too computer generated.
Little too much CGI.
Little too much CGI.
Which here's the thing, and this is what we were talking about the last episode of the podcast. I have Terminator 2 on Blu-ray. You could pop that in right now. That still looks good.
Absolutely.
All that CGI looks amazing. And because
Yes.
it's not overdone. Right?
I agree.
It's used very sparingly. There's lots of practical effects. But every time the T-1000 does the knife hand shit, it looks brilliant. It looks so good still. And then you watch that and you're like, huh?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it.
They took their time with the knife hand because it was important.
It was. And it probably says like Industrial Light and Magic did that CGI, and like anything in like the late 80s, early 90s that Industrial Light and Magic touched.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous. They
Yeah.
did Jurassic Park. They did I think the Alien movies, Predator, all those movies that still hold up to this day. I don't know what company is doing this, but it's not ILM, I don't think.
But the good thing is James Cameron is in charge.
But he's
so-
producing though.
Well,
He's not.
still
people
he's there though.
People
I'm sure
lead-
he's like, hey, don't do that.
Yeah. And Burton was there for Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. He was a producer. Did
Yeah.
those work out? Spielberg was there for the last few Transformers movies as a producer. Did that work out? Producer's cool. It's dope. You have your name attached to it. You don't have. It's the director and the writers though. That's
Right.
Did he write or direct this?
No. I just feel that James Cameron just being there in the background is
Just hanging out.
Yeah.
Just smoking a cigarette. Like,
They have to perform better just by him being there.
well,
That's
I
what
would
I feel.
but
yeah.
I don't know. I don't want it to be bad. I like Terminator. I really do.
Yeah.
The trailers did less than nothing for me though.
I agree with you. I agree. Just
so-
the fact that Arnold's in it. It's just,
No, that's fine. But okay, did this not make sense to you? Sarah Connor shows up to the house and he's there.
Yes.
And she immediately whips the gun out to shoot him, and they have to stop it. And she's like, "When this is over, I'm gonna kill you." And I'm like, "Hang on." The director said we're supposed to forget everything after Terminator 2.
right.
You guys ended on good terms in Terminator 2. Like the T-800 was going to kill himself, and your son was crying. You looked all sad. He saved your life. Like, why would you be angry at him? Nothing else supposedly happened.
Still robot.
Right. Still
a
Cyberdyne
robot.
System Model 101. Yep.
I, for one, would like to welcome our new robot overlords.
Yeah. Well, we already told how that's going for you.
Plus, it doesn't help that Sarah Connor sounds like she smokes way too much cigarettes.
Yeah, that was for me. Like, the big thing is that Linda Hamilton's back, and I'm supposed to be excited for that, and I kind of don't care.
Right.
And I'm just like, eh. Like, I actually liked Emilia Clarke as Sarah Connor, even though she was given nothing to do in that fucking movie.
Right.
But I feel like she's a good actress. I like her. She's easy on the eyes. If you're moving forward with Janice's storyline or whatever, I would have been fine with it. But, I don't know. Whatever. I hope it's good. Just like,
too.
like the Batman, I would like
pray.
it to be good. I would like it to be good.
Let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's think positive.
Okay. You want to throw out the next one?
Oh yeah. Well, this is Shang Chi, which is one of the upcoming Marvel features. I think coming out in 2021. One of their people that they've brought on board is the cinematographer from all three Matrix movies. So they say that this awesome kung fu movie is going to have a Matrix feel to it, which is exciting to me.
So, General Thaddeus, I don't know what your stance on The Matrix is, but
Love The Matrix 1.
I was going to say, can we agree The Matrix 1 is one of the greatest movies of all time?
I agree with
Period, dot, end of story.
that. Wholeheartedly.
Okay. Now, whatever your stance is on the sequels, that's fair. You have to admit, all the fighting was dope.
It's
right?
exciting to watch.
Yes, it is. And, it's not, they might not be as deep as the first one. They might
Right.
not have the holy shit moments. The CGI might look a little rougher. But you have to admit, every fucking fight scene looks
Agreed.
cool. And every
Right.
every action
Absolutely.
sequence, at a certain point, you're like, what the fuck am I
And that's
even
what we're
watching?
talking about
Right.
because he's not the screenplay writer.
Right.
He's not the director. He's
Right.
the guy who made all the camera stuff look cool.
And that's what
Right.
we're saying, because don't be like, oh, well, the Matrixes fell off a cliff. Yeah, but all the fights look dope, though.
I agree with you.
So that, if he's in charge of this, what you're saying is it might not be another Iron Fist. It might not be just 1,000 different fucking cuts in one single fight.
No, listen to me. Listen to me. I want you guys all to listen. I'm
Harvey!
giving you a guarantee.
Listen, Harvey.
I'm giving you a guarantee this is not going to be another Iron Fist. I'm giving you a guarantee this is going to be a awesome kung fu martial arts movie.
Hang on. Harvey liked Iron Fist. We're not judging you. Didn't
If
you?
you liked Iron Fist, by golly, let me tell you, you're going to love this one.
It was not the greatest thing ever,
But you enjoyed it.
Decent. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. You can enjoy something and have it not be the greatest thing ever. But I'm excited.
Because you can relate to slow, lazy kung fu fighters. Is that why you liked Iron Fist?
I guess the main character wasn't portrayed that well, but I liked everything around
The
it.
problem, the supporting cast on Iron Fist, the girl who was in it, what's her name? Jessica Henwick, whatever. She was great.
Yes. And she's going to be in the in Matrix
Matrix
4.
4, right?
Yeah.
That's a nice segue to our next story. Hey, you know who's gonna be in the Matrix 4? This chick from
No, tell
Iron
me.
Fist.
Oh, you're kidding
Yeah.
me. What? You are kidding me.
By the way, okay, so her in the Misty Knight, I can't remember the actress's name. If they would have done a Daughters of the Dragon spinoff with the two of them, would have watched that all day, because the episode in season 2 where it's the two of them kind of running around doing cool shit, that was the most interesting episode of Iron Fist, aside from the one that Luke Cage guest starred on. Like, that was cool. I would totally watch a spinoff called Daughters of the Dragon with the two of them.
Sure.
But her alone, she was probably the brightest spot in Iron Fist. What did you think of Iron Fist? Did you kind of the same?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, okay, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't garbage. It just wasn't good.
Right.
And compared to everything else that we had gotten at the time from Marvel, Netflix, it was a dramatic drop in quality, specifically from fighting. Like, he was supposed to be the greatest martial artist on the planet, right?
He's supposed to be, the living weapon.
Right.
Supposed to be the living weapon. He's supposed to be awesome, crazy good martial artist.
And the problem is that is never really portrayed in the show. And that's just the problem in the choreography and the editing and all that. Like, it's all choppy. You could tell it's not him and all that. Versus Daredevil's doing all these single takes down hallways and shit like that. And you're just like, well, that's so much better.
Right.
Well,
Yep.
I guess the main problem with Iron Fist that most people have is that he came off as a whiny child.
Correct.
The entire
1000%.
time. He had no character development. He stayed as an infant, a spoiled little brat the entire time. And just every time it's probably just his acting, his personality.
Well, and like
Maybe
you
not
could
so much the writing.
you could forgive that at first if you want to play that off. I mean, I would argue that if you want to do, I'm a spoiled little rich kid, fine. But weren't you trained for like 20 years in like a terrible fucking harsh environment? Like, that should have been whipped right out of you.
Yeah, they wouldn't have abided that.
No, but here's the thing: if you want to start him like that, fine. But there's a thing called the character arc, and it's at least by the end of the first season have him growing as a person, because it translated into Defenders. They're literally just like, hey, all we need you to do is not punch this wall with your glowy fist. That's literally all to save this. That's all we just don't hit the fucking wall. And then he hit the fucking wall.
Hit the wall.
Like, how did you had one job, and your job wasn't even to do something there. It was literally to do nothing. Just fuck off. The city would have been fine. And he couldn't even do that. And then he cried about it. But anyway, yeah, she's going to be in the Matrix. That's probably going to be pretty good. I don't know how we started bitching about Iron Fist, but
No.
I don't know. We
Spot
just got
on.
on a tangent.
right. Okay, so keeping with the Matrix, Doogie Howser is going to be in it.
Yes.
For you kids out there who don't know who Doogie Howser is, Weapon 2, who's Doogie Howser?
Doogie Howser was a boy genius who became a medical doctor in a hospital.
I met who's
And
the...
he saved people's lives left and right. He was the smartest person who had ever put on a lab coat and practiced medicine. The young Doogie Howser.
He was a boy doctor.
I would have trusted my life in his hands.
He was also played by young Neil Patrick Harris, who you might know from How I Met Your Mother and Starship Troopers, the best bad movie of all time. And he's been cast as in an unknown role. Like, they haven't said what he's doing.
No. But he's
But-
going to be in it.
So far, I feel like The Matrix 4 is shaping up to be awesome. For a long time, though, Michael B. Jordan was attached, or was in talks to be attached, which that would have been cool. I don't know what the plot for that was going to be. I assume
Well,
it's
they're
going to be
talking
different.
about a young Morpheus being in this, and I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know what that means. I read it about this movie.
By the way, Matrix had its 20-year anniversary this year,
Yeah,
and I recently rewatched it. I don't know if this is a spoiler alert. Still holds up.
it still does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is a great
Yeah.
fucking movie.
I
That is
just
so
watched
good.
it probably about 2 months ago too. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Revolutionary.
Yeah, and it's like even understanding at
The whole concept, the plot concept was amazing.
that
Yeah.
was the last movie that actually made my jaw drop and be like, holy shit.
Yeah. I started questioning my own reality.
Yeah, it was.
Is this my own arm?
What's happening here? Is
No,
this real?
it's so amazing, and just not only that, but just the cinematography and like it has influenced so many movies going forward. Like so many tropes originated from that
I need
fucking
to
movie.
unplug and get woke so I know what's going on, man.
Right?
In the Matrix.
All I would think though, if I was in the Matrix and I was like a hobo, I'd be like, what machine did I piss off? Like, who did I make so mad to
Right.
make this my shitty reality?
Yeah, is this the thing that's supposed to make me happy and
Yeah.
pacify me? This is
'Cause
not
this
cool
fucking
at all.
sucks.
Right.
Cold.
You are programmed to be a hobo.
That's terrible. All right, but I think that's all we got on the news, dear sir. Is anything else we want to add at all?
I do not think so.
All right, so we are going to move on to our top 5 list. As you guys, our world's greatest fans, know, we do a top 5 list every single time, a countdown. And we've been doing a theme for the last several months, top action movies of their respective decades. And we were going to finish off that list with the top 5 movies from 2010 to 2019. Except about a week ago, was it about a week ago?
About a week ago.
Mr. T. Crawler was like, hey guys, Halloween's right around the corner. And
Sure, it's October.
and we should do the best horror movies of all time.
And we said, we're not like super into horror movies.
None of us are horror aficionados.
Maybe we should finish what we're doing. I mean, we could if you really want to. So, I mean, is that what you want to do?
He was adamant.
Well, no, and then I said, so is that what we're going to do? And so, like, how many days did it take for me to get a final answer? I think I had to finally answer. I had to say, are we going to do that?
Well,
is that what we're going to do? I finally said, here's the deal.
You
We're gonna do
messaged
it.
me, and you're like, what are we doing? I'm like, I'm fine with either. Let's just do horror. It's Halloween. It makes a whole lot of sense. And he was still very wishy-washy.
And so I kept saying, so is that what we're going to do?
And he's like, well, I didn't think it was a big deal to just change it. And you're like, yeah, motherfucker, you're not the one who compiles the lists of the internets and
So
does all
let's
the
make
work.
a final decision. Is that what we're going to do? And then finally I said, okay, that's what we're going to do.
We're going to do top 5 horror
No one else
movies.
is going to say.
And then yesterday, T.
Yes?
Crawler tells us that he's not going to make the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Because he's a selfish person. Wow. But none of us are horror aficionados. This is particularly difficult for me because the horror genre is maybe my least favorite movie genre.
Yeah. Well, hey, General Thaddeus, tell us about how you feel about horror
Don't you like the
movies.
horrors?
Well, I'll tell you what. I didn't before. I didn't. Because when I
Before?
was... Before.
Before when?
Check it out.
Oh, okay.
So here I was
check it
back
out.
in 2016.
Okay.
A couple of my friends brought me to The Conjuring 2, which is actually number 5 on my list.
Oh my goodness.
That was
Spoilers!
right?
Fuck!
Sorry.
Don't let
Had
your
to.
secrets out yet. You're gonna okay, so The Conjuring, so that's
Yes.
So, and then what happened?
So there we were in beautiful Hawaii, and we went to this new theater in Kapolei, Hawaii, and we sat down. We were in these nice theaters, and it was beautiful leather seats with chairs and tables, and they'd serve you food. And I remember watching The
What
Conjuring.
did you eat?
What?
did you enjoy?
Yeah, paint the nuts a picture.
Chicken nuggets.
What type of delicacies did you have?
Chicken nuggets in Hawaii?
The finest chicken nuggets with a Sprite. And
Were they tenders? Were they tenders cut
They were
from the bird, or
tenders?
or were they formed nuggets?
they were formed nuggets,
Okay, all right.
animal shaped,
Okay.
with nacho cheese on top.
Oh, that's a bad move.
Yeah. Well, you know
Well,
what?
I mean, how was it? I mean, I'm just in my mind. I'm thinking, that's we took a wrong turn with those.
Delicious.
Okay, all right.
Delicious.
Sounds good.
So there I was. We were watching The Conjuring, and I got so scared because of the constant jump scares, which I wasn't used to. And I actually broke the table, and I threw all of the food everywhere. So I only ate like 2 of the nuggets. That's my story.
What a waste of nuggets.
Yeah. That was it. So after that, I decided that nothing else has moved me that much as a horror
Like
movie
physically
did.
has moved you that much.
Absolutely.
Or
Yes.
your nuggets. Yes.
Or yes, you're right.
or
but-
cause so much damage to the theater.
yes.
Yeah, how
public
did
damage.
the theater people respond
You just
to
got
this?
up and walked out of there
Yeah.
smartly and briskly. I know,
beeline
I
to
know,
the
yeah.
door?
Right.
Absolutely, it was dark, and so after that, I decided that, after that, nothing's ever moved me like that before in movies, besides Star Wars, of course, and Indiana
Without
Jones.
thinking, what's the best Star Wars?
Without thinking, the best Star Wars, A New Hope. Oh no, fake news. Return of the Jedi.
Oh, that's worse. You went the other way.
Empire Strikes
Empire,
Back.
bro.
Empire. That's the best Star Wars movie.
You're
No.
entitled to your opinion. Just know that you're wrong.
That's okay.
That's fine.
That's all right.
Well,
I was always a fan
It's
of
one of the
Ewoks.
one of the greatest reveals in cinematic history. In,
I agree.
Empire Strikes Back.
I agree.
I mean, there's a solid argument for any of those movies.
Yeah,
but,
I'm just a huge
that's just
fan
preference.
of Ewoks.
I hate Ewoks.
Are you fucking with me? What are you doing?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I hate Ewoks.
Shit was about to get real, bro. Okay, so we're doing horror movies. The moral of the chicken nugget story is we are doing horror movies. So, Weapon 2, what is your number 5 horror movie all fucking time?
Well, let me tell you, I took my list. I'm a little older guy, and like I said, I get kind of lost in the mass amounts of horror movies, and so I'll tell you what I did with my list. I kind of tried to go back and find the classics that were kind of the key starting points kind of game changers for different types of horror movies. And so my number 5 is what I believe is, anybody can tell me if I'm wrong, but that's fine, the first zombie movie back before we had dead people that used to come out of their graves and start walking around.
Before you
like
say it,
that.
could I guess? I think I know what it
Yes.
is it George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead?
I was going to say that.
Is that the director? for that?
Is it Romero? Is it Romero? I think
No,
is it not Romero?
I don't think he's a director.
Okay.
I don't think
But it's Night of the Living Dead,
because
though,
I
right?
think this was put out in
Harvey, look it up.
probably like 59.
But it is Night of the Living Dead, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Great
you're right. I don't think it's Romero. You're
No.
right. No, Romero
Right.
came
He
after
ca-
that.
Yeah, way after that.
Yeah.
But so, anyways, but you got the movie right. And the thing about this movie, like I said, it's the first zombie movie. So they're like kind of inventing the zombie genre in this movie. And the strange thing about this movie, as opposed to other genre or zombie movies, is that at first, the first zombie that comes along, were you going to say something, Harvey?
Yeah, it is George A. Romero. In 1968, is that what you're looking at?
Night of the Living Dead was
68?
68.
Okay, yeah, okay, no. So you're
The
right.
Night of the Living Dead.
Okay,
Right?
nice work, everybody. And so, the first zombie that they see, kind of in daylight, at the cemetery, where the brother and sister have come. They see drove 6 miles 2 ways to try to get some flowers to bring them to their father's grave for their mother, who doesn't come along with them. And the first zombie is weird because he is a running, jogging, trotting zombie, which is weird because the rest of them are slow walkers later on in the movie.
Right.
And he knows how to pick up a brick to break a window, which is a little smarter than other zombies. And later on, they know how to pick up clubs and start hitting stuff. So that's strange. I mean, this is early on. They're inventing the zombie genre. And there's some really weird, kind of not that good acting in it, but it's and when you look back at it now, at the time, I'm sure it was like a really scary movie, but it's a lot of kind of funny and just weird parts during it. What were you going to say?
I remember specifically there were lots of moments with just zombies on screen that were very comical.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, and there's the brother of the brother-sister duo gets chomped on and turned into a zombie, where he kind of shows up later on as a zombie. But the sister becomes the most worthless character in this movie. She is like a bag of sand as far as her participation and helpfulness in trying to survive the zombie, the night of the zombies. And they go to a house. They're running around. There's another guy who shows up, and they're like working together. They go in a house. They're tromping around, making noise, hammering up boards. And then all of a sudden, there's like 2 guys that come up from downstairs and go, "Hey, what's going on up here? What are you guys doing up here? When did you get here?" They're like, "We've been making a lot of noise here. You didn't hear us?" Like, "Hey, we didn't know. We thought maybe you were zombies or something." And so then they're like, "We're going downstairs. We're staying downstairs. You guys have to come with us." And they're like, "No, dude, we're staying upstairs." Like, "You're coming downstairs." And then there's a daughter downstairs. And like later on, she dies and eats her father. Because the one guy that came to help originally has to shoot him at one point because he's doing crazy stuff. And then there's a guy who says, "Hey, let's go fill up the truck with gas. I'm the only one here that knows how to work a gas pump because the rest of you guys aren't as smart as me, and I'm the best gas filler-upper." And then he goes over there and he spills gas all over the truck and sets it on fire because he's so good at it. And then so they survive the night. I think at the end, the guy that showed up to help her, the black guy, is the only guy who survives. And when the people come to try to rescue people or they're out hunting zombies, he comes to the window and they shoot him and kill him right at the end of the movie. How sad and depressing. But for me, that was kind of the first zombie movie. And so for its place in that type of horror movie history, that's my number 5.
Nice. So I kind of did a similar thing that you did. When compiling my list, my criteria for it were, 1, movies that are actually just a good movie, that are just well-structured, well-paced, all that kind of, that are actually just good movies. But then I kind of went into the historical significance to what movies were kind of genre defining, what movies were kind of groundbreaking, what movies set into place tropes that were emulated by future movies for decades to come. What were kind of the pioneers of the horror genre, one of which being Night of the Living Dead, as you said, one of which being my number 5, Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. This movie is iconic for a lot of reasons. There are so many scenes that, like, maybe you haven't even watched this movie, but you know of them. You know of the bathtub scene with the claw coming out of the water, coming at the chick. You know of the scene when the dude gets sucked into the bed and the blood exploding and going everywhere. The concept of not just a murderer or a villain or whatever the hell coming at you when you're, like, awake and fighting, falling asleep will kill you. Falling asleep will enter you into a world that can be manipulated and controlled by this fucking serial killer, murderer, monster, and will kill you. Taking a nap means you're dead. That is a terrifying concept, especially when this thing's been chasing you forever.
Because I love naps.
Yeah, me too. I'm so sleepy. But what it also gave was probably one of the most iconic horror movie villains of all time, and one, Freddy Krueger. And the reason I kind of like this movie and the subsequent movies that followed it was Freddy Krueger is probably my favorite horror villain because he's funny as fuck. I'm a big fan of puns and one-liners, and he didn't do it so much in the first movie, but I think after a couple movies, he just starts talking all kinds of shit. Like, he is talking shit and just cracking jokes as he's murdering people. I don't know why. That's funny to me. Maybe I'm fucked up on the inside. But Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984, is my very favorite number 5 horror movie of all time.
Wow. I agree
Nice.
with you. My 5th, like I said, is
Yeah, you already
definitely
told us.
The Conjuring 2.
You're like the opposite of a tease. You just gave it away for
Yeah,
free.
no,
You didn't even make us
You know
warm
what?
up to it.
Yeah, I just put out. It's all right.
That's fine. You're popular.
Whoever's willing.
You're popular with the boys, huh?
Yeah.
You have anything else you want to add to that? Like why you liked it, or?
Again, I mean, it just goes along with the story of the girl that was possessed in England, and you can actually see videos of that girl. You can YouTube it, and it's kind of loosely based on a true story on that movie. And I love how it goes around with the 2 paranormal investigators that actually existed, and so that's why I kind of love it. And that kind of spawned off to The Nun, and so I don't know. I just, again, like the jump scares and all that stuff, it really, really reeled me into the horror genre. And so I blame that.
It
And
compelled you to become destructive and to waste food. Yeah,
Yes.
no, yeah, that's what it's
Yes.
powerful. It was a powerful film.
yeah, I just don't feel that way when I'm watching, regular movies nowadays.
I feel like the mark of a good movie is if it gets an emotional response out of you.
Absolutely.
Whether if it's a comedy movie, it needs to make you laugh. If it's a horror movie, it needs to scare you. Whatever. Like,
Or it
it's-
makes you break furniture.
Yeah. So if it
Yeah.
garnered, you fucking threw the chicken nuggets, bro. And
Yeah.
it garnered the response out of you. So
There was nacho cheese everywhere. Yeah. I didn't have to pay for it though. We exited pretty quickly after
Whoa,
you're like,
whoa,
this
whoa,
is
whoa.
a dine and dash, guys.
Yes.
Did you not pay for any of the food? Is that what you're telling me?
I paid for the food. I did not pay for the broken table.
Okay, no, okay, that's
Yep.
good.
I wouldn't pay for the table either.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's right.
That's what
not
they
your
get
fault.
for showing
They
a
should
scary
They
movie.
should have installed a more sturdy table.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Fuck
there
that
you go.
craftsmanship.
Yes, that's what I said.
Weapon 2, number 4.
Okay, here we go. Number 4
hold up, I
is
got a number 5.
Oh, you're playing? You never play.
I actually,
You got a
I actually
list?
Come on,
prepared,
Herbie.
yes.
You're better than T.
Yeah.
Crawler.
Lay it on us.
Well,
All
me
right.
has a heavy sci-fi bent because that's my thing. So
Okay, yeah, this could lead into that.
Dog Soldiers 2002.
No idea what that is. Explain.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's worth a watch. It's a cheese horror movie, and it's about a special ops team, a British one, that goes up into the Highlands of Scotland, and they're to link up with another special ops team, and they're all slaughtered, all except for one guy. And you get to find out what happens to them.
Were they immortals?
Oh no, there is a werewolf component.
You said Dog
Oh
Soldier.
my
and I thought,
goodness.
Yeah.
dude, have you
Okay.
seen Love, Death, Robots, right?
Yes.
Did
Yeah.
that Soldier Werewolf one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that
good
needs to be
one.
a show.
Yeah, so this is a good movie. They end up holding up in a farmhouse, and they get slaughtered one by one. And of course, yeah, it's a pretty good jump scare movie.
Interesting. I was wondering why you had a notepad in front of you.
Oh yeah,
You never have the notepad. I thought you were up to some shit. All right, awesome. Harvey's playing. I like it. Weapon 2, number 4.
Okay, number 4 for me was Jaws. Now this
Is
was
that horror? Is that a horror?
That is
Absolutely
yes.
terrifying.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Yes, it's supposed to be a horror movie. It's supposed to be scary.
Okay.
The whole movie was supposed to be scary. I don't know if you watch it and you weren't scared, but you're supposed to be. Now, the interesting thing about this is number 1 Jaws was the first movie to ever make over $100 million.
Yeah, and I believe it broke the opening weekend record also. Like,
It was
a box office.
It was probably one of the first two maybe movies that coined the term blockbuster, because the people would line up all the way around the block for the movie. So that's interesting. And some of the key elements of this was you want to think Spielberg, probably his genius was he didn't want to show the shark for the first half of the movie. I think that was kind of hand in hand, the fact that the shark didn't work and looked fake. And so I think that he was like, oh my goodness, what do I do? And so he made the decision to not show the shark for the first half of the movie, which, whatever the reasoning, turned out to be genius.
It inadvertently led to brilliance.
Yes.
Because a great horror movie
Yes.
is about pacing and tone and ambiance. And that's what this movie did.
Yeah, so the fear in this is not what you see, it's what you don't see. And so, I mean, except for the poster where you see a shark coming up to devour a swimmer, there's nothing in that first half of the movie to let you know what is underneath the water eating everybody. And if you didn't already know it was a movie about a shark, you didn't know what it was underneath there. I mean, and even some of the first scenes where you kind of see the shark is when they're trying to catch it and it's dragging the dock around and doing all kinds of stuff. And then when they did finally show the shark, it was very limited. They didn't show a lot of it. There's some really good characters in this. You know, you have the sheriff that's supposed to be the guy who seems to have everything going for him. He's got the great family. Everything's great. Seems like his life couldn't be better. But he's put in this position where he has to be kind of the most unpopular guy in town to try to save people from themselves and their greed, to want to keep shops and tourism and make money. And he's trying to make the hard decision to take their livelihood away to try to save their lives and prevent tragedy. And then you have the kind of the Captain Ahab character, who's the old grizzled fisherman who seems like he's been out there. He's probably past his prime. He's going after this shark. You don't know what's going to happen. And then Richard Dreyfuss is in there. He's got a good character in there. It's kind of supposed to be the guy who's a genius, knows all about sharks. I'll tell you, you guys don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're up against. You don't know how big this thing is. So a lot of good characters in this. Big movie, very successful, and just a good movie.
Nice. Also, like, this might just be a product of the time because CGI wasn't really a prevalent thing yet, but the shark was animatronic.
It was a robot shark.
Yes,
that
and
was breaking down.
At least later in Spielberg's career, Jurassic Park, the dinosaurs mostly were animatronic, also with a little bit of CGI sprinkled in there. But I just miss animatronics, because now if that movie was made now, like Megalodon, the whole fucking thing would be CGI and it would look fake as fuck. And I just want more robots in my movies.
Yeah, because nowadays I want a robot. I want a movie about a robot shark. You know what the other,
Like an actual robot shark.
you know,
With a freaking laser on
you
his
know what?
freaking
This shark
head.
is not looking up like a robot. Now, the other thing, I think in Jaws, doesn't like the shark growl in
It
Jaws?
roars. I think it
can't
roars. It roars. Yeah.
Sharks don't roar.
Bears don't roar. Right. No, every time you see a bear in a movie and it opens its mouth, it makes a noise. Bears don't make that noise.
What sound does a bear make?
I was about to do it. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it.
Come
But
on.
that roar, it doesn't roar. They do
Yeah.
a growling noise. That's all bullshit. That's fake. They don't do that.
All
All right, Chewy. That was more Chewy.
All right.
Well,
But
hey,
anyway.
I did want to say, speaking of Jaws, let's not forget the soundtrack of Jaws.
Oh, that's
the two
Yeah.
sounds.
that is at least 50% of the success for that movie as a soundtrack is
Right.
the what do you call it,
The score.
score. Yeah.
It's the two notes.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Was it John? It wasn't John Williams. Was it John Williams who did the score? I don't know. Harvey, look it up. You're off camera. But yeah, I concur. I think we talked about this before. Music and score and all that is a very criminally underrated aspect of a movie that can do so much to put you in the proper mindset for it, specifically in a horror movie. Like, you
Right.
need to be creeped the fuck out, right? Things.
And that stuff
Okay.
helps build the suspense.
It was John Williams.
Nailed it.
Okay,
Ah,
nice
I'm
work.
good.
Wow.
Way to go.
All right. My number 4 is, so going back to the whole, iconic slasher movies of the 80s and all that. So this is a movie in a popular slasher, long running. I think it is actually the longest running horror franchise or somewhere around there. But this is a reboot of it, and I think this is probably one of the best reboots I have ever seen. Right there, just under Abrams' Star Trek. This is the 2007 Halloween, the one that was written and directed, I believe, by Rob Zombie. This was, I don't believe, his first movie, but I think his second one that he actually directed. And this is when we started to realize, hey, Rob Zombie, he's fucked up. Like, that is, holy
He did some movies like The
Devil's
Devil's
Rejects.
Rejects.
Devil's Rejects, yeah.
Yeah.
And this movie was so interesting because I had never really given a
Night
shit.
of 1,000 Corpses.
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
Something like that, too.
He did a lot of fucking movies. But I had never given a shit about the character Michael Myers. And this movie's brilliant because, like, the first third of it is all about his childhood. And you see how shitty his parents are and all the abuse and the bullshit that he goes through, up to him murdering his stepdad and sister and like leaving his like youngest baby sister alone. Then you see him going to the mental institution and him breaking out and him just murdering people and hunting down his sister now. And like there is such a psychological aspect to it that I felt was missing with the original. The original Halloweens were just straight up slasher movies. There was actually a really creepy, grounded, gritty level to this that I believe Rob Zombie brought to it because the sequel was just as good. And then they totally rebooted it and did it again, and now it's stupid. But these two movies, specifically the first one, though, if you've never watched them, I feel like the first Halloween, 2007, is very much worth watching because it is creepy and uncomfortable as fuck. To me, this is an example of a movie that just ended up being a good movie, like a much better movie than I thought it had any right to be, than I was expecting it to be. And I thought one that is kind of worthy to be talked about is one of, I think, the best reboots of a franchise kind of ever. So that's my number 4.
Right. I agree. My number 4 is a movie I saw back in 1997. We had one of those traveler TVs that had the VHS connected to it.
Nice.
And we went on a scout trip, and it was late at night. And
That sounds scary already.
yeah, and there's a whole long story that goes along with watching this movie after that. But anyway, Event Horizon.
Oh, fuck, I love that movie.
Yeah.
Damn it, I didn't even think of that.
Event Horizon
Oh, such a good movie.
scared me so bad I had to pee because we were in a tent, right?
I'm not sure if I've ever seen. What is
It
it
is
about?
so good. Go ahead, you
Tell
tell
me-
what it's
tell me
about.
what
It's
it's
so
about.
fucking good, though.
It's almost like so it's almost like how Alien starts out. And so they go on a reconnaissance.
Star Sam Neill, right?
Yes.
Space movie, they're on a ship.
Yes. And so they go into a ship that possibly has gone through a black hole. And the ship turns out that they don't know where this ship actually went and where it ended up, but turns out it pretty much went to hell.
Yeah, went to a different dimension. That dimension was hell, and now it's possessed by like
snap.
hell. Oh, there is some the chick in the bathtub. Oh my god, there are some fucked up things in that movie.
Absolutely. Scared us so bad. Do you want me to go in the story?
Sure.
Let's see, we haven't seen this
sure.
at all. This makes me scared to go into space.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So actually, after that, we tried to go to sleep. It was, and I think we were like, I don't know, 13 and 14. And outside, because we were living in Panama at the time, and outside we were hearing things hitting our tents. And we hear this roar. It was just sounded like yelling.
Was it a shark?
It was.
it
I'll
a bear?
tell you what. They were howler monkeys.
Oh, no.
And the howler monkeys were actually lobbing their fecal matter at our tent. And
Beautiful.
it sounded like somebody was outside. And I had to pee really bad.
Wait, where were you fucking camping in a zoo?
Well,
in
actually,
Panama.
in the middle of
Panama.
Panama. We were in the middle
I heard
of a
Panama
jungle.
City, and I'm like, oh, there's no howler monkeys just running around the city? That's not a
Right.
thing. Okay, I get it now.
There
Makes
are
sense.
hookers in Panama. So, no, here
They also threw their feces.
If you don't tip well, they'll start chucking it.
Be careful. So yeah, Event Horizon actually made for a scary month after that. So
You should watch that. I don't know.
I'll
if
do it.
holds
I'm
up.
gonna do it.
It's a fucked up movie.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Harvey, are you done?
Oh yeah, I'm done.
Harvey, number 4.
What you got?
Okay, 1982, The Thing.
Oh fuck.
Oh, there
nice.
you go.
There's-
That's
Nice.
There are 2 elements in this movie that make it stand out. One, this research team that is being attacked is in the middle of Antarctica.
isolation.
You are not getting anywhere. You're not getting help. You are stuck.
Yeah.
You know, it's either fight this thing or you're freezing to death. The other element is that this thing can assume the form of any other creature.
Shapeshifter.
Yeah, and that's a
changeling.
scary thing. You think a guy is your friend, and he's actually the monster.
Was that John Carpenter that directed this?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was John Carpenter. Yeah.
You know stuff. Man.
Wow, this is
work.
yeah.
Apparently, I know more about horror movies than I fucking thought. I feel like that was John Carpenter.
Yes, it was. Actually.
Fucking nailed it.
Wow, 3 for 3.
I'm just gonna quit now on my head. But go ahead.
No, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's what makes the movie stand out.
Anyway,
It's good.
this got remade, I think, in the mid 2000s, and it was nowhere near as good.
No,
like
no.
it's something was missing about it. It was pretty much the same
You know what?
fucking movie.
It's how it's shot.
Is that
Okay,
right?
you know Alfred Hitchcock?
Yeah.
Made a lot of really good horror movies back in the day. He always had, because technology wasn't good, there was no CGI or anything like that. He always had this thing of you didn't really ever see the monster. Mm-hmm. The monster was always in the shadows. They always did a lot of stuff with lighting. And that just, what you don't see is always scarier.
It is, and that's where a lot of modern day horror movies fuck up because they show you this big CGI blob immediately, and I'm completely taken out of it because I'm like, well, that's fake as shit.
Also,
Right.
Music score is everything.
Yes, concur, especially in a movie in this kind of genre. Yes, like we said. All right, cool, good pick. Another genre-defining movie, like a movie that has been emulated over and over and over again. So, Weapon 2, number 3.
My number 3 is The Exorcist.
Nice.
Now, when this came out, I'm trying to think. There was a lot of controversy around this movie. There was a ton of actors that they wanted to bring in to act in this, and they saw the script and they said, "No way, Jose, I am not going to be in this movie." And so, there was, and then there's it's still got all kinds of the old curse little stories and everything where people think, oh, if you ever went around this movie, you're cursed and 9 people died and all kinds of stuff. So it's at the time it was I can't remember what they it was hugely successful. It made a lot of money, but also in fact I think overall it's made a ton of money since it was released. But one of the things about this was I can't remember what the condition they named it, but there was a thing where there was people getting sick and throwing up and like passing out and just like having the bodily sickness and reactions to this because they couldn't handle just the like I said, this was another concept, the concept of possession and all these crazy, horrible things going on was kind of new to people. It's on some of these things when we go back and talk about it, it's kind of weird for us to talk about how hard they were for people to both understand and it was freaked them out so much. But we got to understand there was not a lot of these types of movies back then. So I think just the way that this I can't remember. There was something about the rating in this thing too. They almost rated it X, because it was so scary and controversial at the time. They almost rated it X, which would prevent a lot of people from going to see it, and they kept it an R. Where then I think some people brought their kids to it, and everybody went crazy, and so for me the way this kicked off the whole possession type horror movie and the way it kind of affected people at the time makes this a classic for me.
Yeah, talk about genre defining.
Yeah.
And like influential. That is one of the top movies ever.
I'm gonna look up what the name of the condition they called it while you guys are talking.
All right, my number 3. Nailed it. My number 3 horror movie of all time. The Conjuring, 2013. So The Conjuring is a movie that, again, like I'm not a big horror guy. I wasn't really looking forward to watching this. My girlfriend at the time made me watch it. Maybe that's why we broke up. But I was taken back with how good of a fucking movie. This is one of those, like, I don't know if it's genre defining or whatever. It spawned a bunch of sequels and spinoffs. It was just a good fucking movie.
I agree.
The paranormal investigators are, and I like that it's kind of based on real shit that happened, which is kind of cool. But like This is just a movie that nailed casting. They're interesting characters. You immediately care about them. They never come off as like campy or stupid or whatever. And the family that they're investigating, again, you give a shit about them immediately. Like part of the problem with horror movies is you don't give a fuck about anybody in that movie. They're all a bunch of red shirts. They're all a bunch of cannon fodder. You don't care. But if you give me an actual character-driven story, if I'm invested in them, I don't give a shit what's going on screen. I'm going to care. And I cared. This movie didn't rely on crazy jump scares. Like, they were there, and don't get me wrong, but they did such a great job of building up tension and building up suspense. When the jump scares did happen, I had to pretend like it didn't get me. Like, my girlfriend was jumping. She's like, ah! And I was just like, look at you. Like, it actually affected me. It was good. It even had, like, a great ending, a great resolution, to the point where it ended, and they were setting up clearly what was going to be the sequel. And I was like, I want to watch that. And I've actually watched, I think aside from like the last one or whatever it was, but I watched pretty much all of them in the spinoffs and all that, just because, and even all those consistently have pretty good quality. Like, I don't think Conjuring 1 and Conjuring 2, like you said, was very, very good. But this was an unexpected movie to me that I wasn't expecting to be as good as it was. I don't think it had any right to be as good as it was, and it just came out of nowhere. And so, yeah, maybe it's not like genre defining like some of the other movies we're talking about, but to me it's just a great modern horror movie.
I agree with you. The best scene in that movie is when the sheet gets blown in the wind and you see the silhouette or the shape of a person. That was terrifying.
And that's the thing is, like, that's all you need.
Yeah.
You just need fuck with my mind just a little bit, and I'm just like, what is happening? And that whole thing, that was just a really good movie. And like the investigators, so if you have a movie that's based around like a private eye or a detective or whatever, I gotta like watching them think. You know what I mean? I gotta like watching them figure the problem out and solve it and all that. And I loved watching them go through the house and figure it out. Like when she sees the shadow following the mom and shit. Like I loved watching her reaction and all that. Like it was a good movie.
It's terrifying.
It is creepy as fuck.
Yeah,
like,
that
really
whole
creepy.
universe is amazing.
And and then
Annabelle.
Yeah, fuck, that was a good. Like that was again surprisingly good. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a bullshit spinoff, and then I watched it. I was like, no, that was pretty good. Shit.
Right.
Like these people are actually trying to make good movies. So, like, more on them.
Absolutely. And everything they're producing is quality. So
yeah, like I'll watch whatever they make just because it's gonna be good. And that's saying something from like a non-horror guy. So yeah, good on you guys.
Agreed. All right, so we're doing third. I want to go. My third is I put off watching this movie for forever just because I hated everybody that said that it was a really good movie. Like, oh my gosh, you got to see this movie. It's crazy. It's scary. I go with Alien. Alien for me.
Okay.
Is
this was on my list for a minute, by the way. Like I was shuffling things around. Alien was on here. So, yeah. Okay.
Alien, especially just not knowing, again, kind of like the theme we're talking about. You don't know what it is. You don't see the whole thing until almost, the end. I mean, the baby.
Talk about iconic scenes.
Oh man. I read and also, you watch the specials on it, and how it was made and stuff. And no one in that room knew that thing was going to pop out of that, of that shirt. And just to see I've rewound it and watched it again. I don't know how many times, just seeing everybody's scared faces. It's the best.
That lends to the scene so
Absolutely.
much. They're shocked. What the fuck is happening? Reactions. Yeah.
Right. And, so I actually watched Spaceballs before that. And
totally different movie.
I know, but the part where the thing pops out and it's like, hello, my baby. Hello. And it's like, oh, man. And then I finally watch Alien. I'm like, oh, that's where it's from. And that for me is a terrifying movie. Alien puts kind of a spin on, just aliens and horror and just, I don't know. It made space terrifying.
And it totally, again, genre defining, lends itself to like that movie has been emulated and tropes have been created because of that movie. Like so many movies pay homage and directly rip it off because it's a fucking classic. Like to me, like I like Aliens a lot better, but that's kind of like how Terminator 1 is like a horror movie. Terminator 2 is action.
Right.
Same thing. Alien is a horror movie. Aliens is action. Being a child of the 90s, though, I remember the sequels a lot more fondly. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so, like, I know I remember Alien, but everything that I really remember, minus that one scene, is Aliens. Like, the sequel sticks out to me more. That's why I didn't quite make it. But, yeah, that is a great movie. And people just a little bit older to me fucking love that movie.
Right. Right. I actually saw Aliens first, then I saw Alien. And I was like, wow. Oh, man.
Totally different movie.
Yep. Absolutely.
Good choice.
What a letdown. There's only one.
Right.
Yes. And it's
What's
not
the
even
difference?
A big
Oh, there's an S. Oh, number 2.
Harvey.
Okay, 2009 Pandorum.
Pandora. What was that? That was about a flu or something? What was that?
No, that was about a guy wakes up from hypersleep with another guy, and they're on this ship that seems like it's abandoned, and they're obviously traveling to another planet to colonize it. And some weird power fluctuations are happening. Nobody else is awake. Seems like it's kind of abandoned. Some of the other sleep pods are empty. You don't really know what's going on. And this actually stars Dennis Quaid and Ben Foster.
Oh, wow.
And this is the first movie where I actually thought that Dennis Quaid is actually a decent actor.
Hey, now.
Wow.
He's good in most movies.
He was pretty good in this.
Okay.
Like he stepped it up to a whole nother level. And just that whole thing where you're alone in a dark ship and you don't know what's going on. The whole thing's a mystery. And some weird stuff is going on. People just are getting killed. And you don't know why.
Yeah, space is either amazing or terrifying,
Yeah.
according to movies anyway.
There's no gray area.
There's no gray area. Nice. All right, weapon 2, number 2.
Okay, I just wanted to add a couple extra fun facts from that. Exorcist was the first horror movie to ever be nominated for a Best Picture.
Nice.
In the Oscars. Also, it made more than $441 million in today's money. That would be over $1.8 billion.
Jesus.
Dollars. It was the highest grossing horror movie up until recently.
That's Avengers money, bro.
The Stephen King adaptation of It was the one that knocked it off that perch. So yeah, that's big money.
Damn. Wow.
So number 2 for me was the first big successful. I think there was like maybe one movie a few months earlier that was what we're going to call a slasher movie, but this was the first big successful slasher movie, and it's Psycho. Now, Psycho for the time was very controversial. They thought that there'd never been a movie like this. The kind of the interesting things about this is that you have Norman Bates, who seems like a kind of a good, wholesome, handsome guy who just has this, and you learn. Well, it starts out with the lady who's one of the stars through the halfway until she gets killed. Is she steals a bunch of money? I can't remember her name, and she's on the run. She winds up at the Bates Motel. She sees Norman Bates. He talks about his mother. She sees up at the big house on the hill, sees somebody in a dress walking around that he thinks is this overbearing mother. You kind of start developing kind of a sympathy for him, and you feel bad for him, and it seems like he's a good guy, and it's kind of a sad situation he's in, and you got a couple super iconic scenes. There's a lot of them through this. One of the fun facts, I know I jump all around when I'm saying these things. One of the fun facts is that Alfred Hitchcock, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
Didn't even get paid to be the director for this. He foregoed his fee because he was actually a pretty big director at the time, and took his money on the back end as a percentage, which turned out to be super good for him because the movie made like over $80 million. That's like over 400 and something million in today's money.
That's confidence in your product.
So it was super financially successful. And some of the, of course, the shower scene is one of the most iconic shower scenes. Another example of more of what you don't see than what you see, and let your imagination do. And he made a decision to make this in black and white because he thought, in color with all the blood and just the gore, he says it would be too much at the time for people to handle. So he purposely made it black and white. By the way, the blood in the shower scene is chocolate syrup because it looks just great in black and white.
Delicious.
For blood. And also, probably my favorite scene is, other than the shower scene, which is an iconic scene, is the scene when the sister of the girl, I think that's who it was, who came looking for her, that got killed in the shower, finally gets up to the house. She goes up to the house. She's looking around. She thinks she found the mom sitting in a chair, and she spins her around, and it's the decomposing corpse of the mom. And she starts screaming and hits the light. So you got the light swinging all over it, casting all kinds of crazy shadows. And then Norman Bates comes running in with a knife in his mom's dress, and the look on his face, he has some weird maniacal smile on his face with the lights the way it is, for me is like, holy cow, that's still freaky. So it's a really good movie. Probably the worst part of the movie is a sign of the times was that they were worried that nobody in the audience would get it. So, what they would call then multiple personalities, and so you have a psychologist come at the end, like he's talking to everybody, and okay, well, folks, what's going on with Norman is so he has to lay out this whole medical diagnosis and explanation about what was going on, because and it's clearly, even though he's talking to the other characters, it's for the audience to try to explain to them so they can understand what's going on. So nowadays, it seems another thing that's silly, because, we can figure that out now, but it seemed like it needed to be a thing at the time. But it was another big, successful movie, first slasher movie, and that was my number 2.
Again, the score to that.
Yes, the score was good.
Yep.
And again, another iconic genre-defining movie. So, fun fact, I've never actually seen that movie. I did see the remake that happened starring Vince Vaughn.
It's worth the look at.
But I thought Vince Vaughn was very good. He played creepy, very well. But I've never seen the original.
Yeah,
So.
the original is worth seeing.
They have a show called The Bates Motel.
I've heard that's good, too.
It's pretty good.
That's what I've heard.
I watched it, too. Yeah.
Watched it with my family. Pretty good.
Interesting. Oh, bad. Okay. My number 2 horror movie of all time, and this is an example of, again, just a movie that happened to be really fucking good. Out of nowhere, was not expecting to like it so much. The Mist, 2007, starring Thomas Jane. This is an adaptation of the Stephen King novel by the same name. And so the problem with lots of Stephen King books, lots of the adaptations are not very good. He's actually gone on record as saying a lot that he doesn't really care for a lot of the movies that have been made. This is an exception. I believe this was made into a movie previously, and this is a remake of that, I think. I could be wrong on that. But this movie is fucking awesome. So it takes place, it's like in a tiny little town. And there's this military base that goes on, and this cloud of mist just fucking comes from out of nowhere, engulfs the entire town. And once you're engulfed in the mist, there's all these fucking crazy monsters to come out and just start straight up murdering people. And that's creepy enough, but that's not what really makes the movie great. What makes the movie great is the main character and a group of survivors are held up in a grocery store trying to fucking figure out what's going on. And the rampant fucking tribalism that is on display by everybody in that grocery store. This crazy fucking overly religious cunt radicalizes everybody, and there's these soldiers in there that had nothing to do with what happened. They know that scientists were responsible to do it, but she gets everybody on board to just hang these dudes, and just the display and the disgusting display of humanity that happens here. And you realize in a situation like that, the most dangerous fucking thing in the world might not be the monsters trying to kill you. It's
human
dealing
savagery.
with other fucking people.
Yeah. We have this thin veil of civilization that we try to act as there. That thing is paper thin.
To quote the Joker, when fucking shit hits the fan, these civilized people, they'll eat each other. That is a fucking very true statement. And so the movie becomes not them trying to survive the monsters, but it's trying to get the fuck away from these lunatics. Not only that, the great thing in this movie is Thomas Jane is very likable. He's a great actor. He's great in this movie. Every single decision that he makes is the wrong one, and it gets people fucking killed, and you feel terrible because he's trying to do the right thing, and it keeps biting him in the ass. And then the ending is one of the most terribly depressing things in the world, where he's sitting in his child and the chick and 2 people that he's two elderly people, in a van, and they just drive for as long as they can, and they run out of gas. And he realizes fuck it, the monster's gonna kill us. We might as well just make it quick. He has a revolver. Shoots his kid, shoots the girl, shoots the old couple in the back, has no bullets left for himself, is freaking out, is screaming because he's doing the right thing, right? They're gonna die horribly, so he did the right thing, killing everybody really fast. Gets out of the truck, starts screaming, "Come on, come on!" Waiting for the monsters to get him. And then the mist clears, and then the military rolls through. They were fighting back the monsters. They were saving everybody. People from the convenience store are rolling by, looking at him like he's a fucking dick. He just murdered his fucking family and people who were close to him. Where if he would have waited 3 minutes, everything would have been okay. What the fuck? I remember leaving the theater with my friends, depressed, like, do you guys want to go like play video games now? Because I needed to share the fuck, because that was great, but that was not a happy movie. Holy shit. And it stuck with me for, 12 fucking years, because that was a really, really, really good movie. So, yeah, that's my number 2.
So my number 2 is The Exorcist.
Okay, there we
So
go.
check it out. So to go along with the depression and wanting to play video games afterwards. So we watched, but the first time I watched The Exorcist was when they did a remake of it back in like 2000, 2001. So we actually skipped high school to go watch it. And so we went out, and it was a rainy day, and we all watched it. And
Truancy's no joke.
yeah,
Telling you.
go to school.
Yeah, stay in
And and so so we ended up getting super depressed, and it scared us. Fun fact about about Linda Blair, who played the girl. She was actually excommunicated from the Catholic Church by her role in The Exorcist. What she did with that cross was unholy. Anyway, so here's
It's pretty hot though.
yeah, absolutely. So we actually ended up playing the first time I had ever played it, Halo. After that, we ended up playing it for about 5 or 6 hours after that, just to get ourselves out of that funk that The Exorcist put us in.
We played Halo 2 after the mist.
Are you serious?
I swear to God, dude. It was 07.
Holy
The game
crap.
had just come out. Swear to God.
Yep. It helped, and we. But the most terrifying scene for me was when she comes down and everybody's happy and they're playing the piano, and and then she comes down and she says, "You're all gonna die," and then starts urinating. That scared
That was creepy.
the crap out of me.
It's a normally bodily function. We all do it.
Yes.
Probably more the "you're gonna die" part, huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah,
Having your
I see.
child, you're hosting this beautiful party, and everybody's singing, and somebody's playing the piano, and all of a sudden your child comes down and starts saying,
I think
"You're all gonna die."
There's something unnerving
How
about like a kid
dare
doing that
you.
though. 'Cause
Right.
You remember like the first
Get right back up to your room.
Clean it up this instant.
Do you
You're
remember?
grounded.
You remember the first Resident Evil?
Absolutely.
When they're in the hive and the little girl's like, "You're all going to die down here." You're just like, what the fuck? Like
Yeah.
it's very unnerving for a kid to be like, "No, you're dead." You're just like, what do you know that I don't know? Because that's bullshit.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so funny story about video games and Resident Evil and being terrifying. My friend got a Japanese version of the PlayStation, and
What's different about it?
I don't know.
It's Japanese.
It's Japanese, and
Okay,
so
sounds good.
for some reason it would only play the video games in black and white.
oh fuck!
And
That would make that so much creepier.
Oh, I had this massive Zenith TV, and it was huge, and it was in my room, and it was dark, and it was the first time we'd ever played Resident Evil, and we heard the sounds of the dogs and the sounds of everything, and it was when you walked through that hallway, and the dogs jumping through, and it was black and white, and it was so scary. And the dogs jumping through that glass.
Those games will fuck you up, especially the first two,
Absolutely.
1 and 2.
Absolutely.
Those are freaky fucking. I couldn't like black and white. Fuck, that would make the Harvey. I know you played some Resident Evil. Wouldn't those black and white fuck you up a little more?
Yeah, and actually, I got a story about that too.
Okay.
So back in the day, I was playing Resident Evil 1 with my friends, and another friend couldn't make it. So
Was his name T Crawler?
no, should have been though. So this other friend that couldn't make it comes over at 2 a.m. We didn't know it. He put on a Darth Maul mask and then jump scared us from outside the house. Went up to the window, started banging on the window. We look over, it's 2 a.m. What the fuck is that? Like, yeah, it was scary as shit.
And Resident Evil had already put you in kind of a mood.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no way.
So-
that was probably one of the most scared I've ever been.
Weapon 2, I'm guessing you've never played Resident Evil video games.
You know, one time I was playing Asteroids, on my Atari 2600.
Terrifying.
It was really terrifying because these rocks kept coming from all different directions. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do. I was afraid I was going to get hit with one of the rocks. So yeah, I feel you guys. I've been there.
Well, the thing with Resident Evil, the video games, is like, so talk about like horror movies and all that kind of stuff. Resident Evil kind of defined what became known as the survival horror genre of video games. There were some of the pioneers of that, some of the best ones, and those games would legitimately freak you out. Like, I couldn't play them alone at night. I would be scared out of my fucking mind. So yeah.
Nope.
Not I had to wait till it was fucking Saturday afternoon. I could not touch those games at night. They were freaky as fuck. But.
Yep.
All right, Harvey, number 2.
Okay. I also had Event Horizon.
That's why you gave him that look, like you wanted to fuck him.
You gave me the wink.
You gave me the fuck me eyes.
So
Nudge.
on that, because it's already taken, we're going with Deep Blue Sea, 1999.
The fucking
Because fuck you.
The LL Cool J movie.
Are you
See,
just switching
Are
up?
you serious?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely switching up now.
Do you remember the song he made?
Oh, it's terrible.
Deepest, bluest, my hand is like a shark's fin.
it's-
That was so dumb.
It's Samuel L. Jackson, Thomas Jane, and LL Cool J, and LL Cool J's parrot.
Yes.
Yes, because
I remember.
it was awful. So
That's almost, that
was
is,
it LL Cool J's real life parent?
well, I doubt
Okay,
that.
that is-
I think the parrot was just an actor. So
Okay.
that is in the same vein as Starship Troopers, where it was so bad, it was actually stupidly entertaining.
Oh, it was funny
It
as
was
shit.
dumb.
Yeah.
Sam Jackson getting murdered by the shark in the middle of his big motherfucker pep talk, like, was so funny.
So yeah, that's number 2 now.
Okay, I would have never
It's your
replaced
fault.
Event Horizon.
Hey, that's okay.
Weapon 2, number 1.
My number 1 was the first, what I would call the alien horror movie, which happened to be called Alien.
There it is.
Nice.
There it is.
It's been described and talked about in depth and very well. The only 2 things I'll add is, number 1, this is probably still, to this day, the best cinematic Alien. It's cool. I mean, it's the whole design, the look, everything about it is still scary, and I'm hard pressed to think of another Alien that's cooler than that.
Acid saliva.
Yeah, and then also the other thing I liked about this is we have so many movies, space movies, where the spacecrafts are so clean and pristine and sterile, and everybody's dressed in these official type suits and everything like that. The thing I liked about this was it made you feel like this is a time where space travel's common. So we don't have like these military people who are in here flying around. These are blue collar workers. The spacecraft seemed lived in. It looked
dirty.
like a place they had dirty. It was a place it was their workplace. And so that made it kind of seem relatable to me.
A little bit more real.
Yeah. So, and then you guys already talked about how cool all the rest of it was. It's just a really good movie.
Nice. Again, talk about an iconic like creature monster.
Yeah.
Like to this day, you show anybody a picture of the xenomorph and they know exactly what that is.
Absolutely.
Right. So, all right, my number 1 horror movie of all time is The Shining, 1980. I had that. Oh, you scratched it out. You scratched it out.
I put that one,
All right.
but no, you're right. You're
Wow.
right. I like that one.
So again, talk about another, I believe, good Stephen King adaptation. Although I believe Stephen King doesn't really like this movie all that much. But this is a fantastic movie, and it is genre-defining for many, many reasons. But this is, as far as horror movies go, I think maybe the best directed one. Almost every shot of this movie is damn near a work of art. It is,
The cinematography.
The cinematography is amazing in this movie. It's really like a masterclass in how to film something. And is the story about this. It is the descent into madness over the duration of a winter, and everything about this movie, like the way this movie is shot, brings you into it. And then once crazy shit starts popping off, like we talked about before, you're invested in the characters and what the fuck's happening. So anything that happens at that point freaks you out. And there's iconic moments in it with those creepy ass fucking twins, and with everything else that happens in that movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. I probably should have watched it again to talk about it, but whatever. It's a great movie. I've never read the book before, but one of our top fans actually recently purchased it for me for my birthday, so I'm actually going to give the book a read. And the sequel that the trailer just dropped for Dr. Sleep looks dope as fuck. So I'm actually very much looking forward to reading the book, rewatching the movie, and checking out the sequel. But
Red Rum, the new one, Red Rum,
yeah.
is that what it's called?
No, it's
Yeah.
called Dr. Sleep.
Dr.
But-
Sleep.
Dr. Sleep, yeah.
Yep,
I
Dr.
figure
Sleep.
the book is
Don't
also
they-
called
don't
Dr.
they have
Starring Ewan
something across
McGregor.
it that
Ewan
says
McGregor.
Red Rum. This is something. on the
Well, it
side.
says that on the mirror, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this movie is dope as fuck, and I should have done more research before, so I could have talked about it more. But hey, it's a great movie. Check it out.
One of the most interesting things about that movie to me is the photograph they show that's supposed to be like from a long time ago in history at that hotel shows Jack Nicholson's character in there. So you're like, wait a minute, what's
It's a
going
mindfuck,
on?
yeah.
Has he always been here? What the heck's going on?
Also,
So-
Jack Nicholson, is that, or just Nicholas? Jack Nicholson?
is it Nicholson?
Nicholas.
Jack
Nicholas?
Nicholas. I always
Nicholas.
fuck that up. Jack Nicholas.
Either one. One's
Yeah,
a golfer,
he's
one's
one-
an actor.
yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Jack Nicholas talking to the ghost bartender is some of the best shit
Yeah.
you will ever fucking. Those are fucking hilarious conversations.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
love everything about those.
I agree. So I'm going to throw a curveball here.
Okay.
Here it comes.
I'm ready. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
Listen, I saw this movie with my wife.
Okay.
All right. We saw it, and I got to tell you, it started out absolutely hilarious, and then it ended up being the most terrifying movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
Okay.
Idiocracy.
Really?
That is a terrifying movie because that is exactly what the fuck's gonna happen.
No, I understand
That's
what
real
you're
life, bro.
saying.
Idiocracy.
That is real life.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Judge's Idiocracy.
Because you look at it
Only
and it's
stupid
like,
people
yeah,
are breeding.
that's what's happening. I see that happening.
Yes.
The best part
Yeah.
of that movie is the beginning when it shows what happens, and you're just like, "That's exactly what's happening."
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yes. Mike Judge captures everything.
That movie makes me weep for the human race.
Absolutely. The mounds of trash. His name being not sure. And him becoming president.
Although the one thing, like if I could take any aspect of that movie and make it a real thing, I really wish I can get a hand job at Starbucks. I feel like if I could order my latte and a hand job, that's the world I want to live in. Just saying.
Absolutely. I mean, just me watching that movie. So my wife is Mexican, and so she really.
Hey, me too.
There you go. So she didn't really understand at first, right? Like the culture pieces that of Americana, like, and that is just it's everything that we are and what we will become if we continue on this. It's
Yeah.
so scary.
No, and we're gonna, and it's sad as fuck.
Yeah, and it's happening.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
So-
That is a real life horror. I never thought of it as a horror movie. But
Yeah.
It's totally a horror movie.
I'm terrified now. You've convinced me.
Yeah, it honestly shakes me to the core that I look at my daughter and I'm like, oh no, look at what we're doing for you.
This honestly happens. Like, well, I'll see some people on Facebook. They're like, oh, yeah, we're expecting. And I'm like, oh, because it's imperative to the survival of the human race that you reproduce, right? We need your DNA just fucking out there. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Thanks. You're adding to the problem.
Yes, and
And I'm not stopping at 1 or 2 or 3.
No, I'm going to
or
have
4
16.
or 5.
I'm going to have fucking
6.
all of them. I'm going to have all of
7.
them.
yes, to quote the NoFX song, all the stupid people are breeding, and so that
Yes.
is- honestly, it's terrifying. That movie left me shaken to the core. I couldn't sleep.
Dude, as far as curveballs go, that was a fucking great one. Like,
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that was
not
good.
Thank you.
expecting that at all.
Yeah, Idiocracy. If you haven't seen it,
Well
watch
played.
it.
You'll be scared shitless.
Yep.
All right, Harvey, number 1.
Well, it was going to be Alien 1979.
Oh, you could have the same movie
Yeah.
on your list,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
We do
I
it all the time.
yeah.
No, actually, this one was actually the one I'm going to mention was going to be an honorable mention, so
Yeah.
we'll talk about it. It's 1995 Screamers. Have you guys seen that one?
Yes, actually. I have.
wow.
Yeah. That is a movie about two guys who go to a very remote planet, and there's a mining colony dispute. It's like a labor dispute, and it evolves into basically they're killing each other. So there are these weapons that are burrowing in the ground, and they flow just beneath the surface, just like tremors. And there are these little machines that pop out of the ground right before they get to you and cut your chest open with blades that are embedded inside these machines.
Not nice at all.
Yeah, not nice at all. So this is actually written by Philip K. Dick, who wrote Blade Runner, Total Recall, Minority Report, a whole bunch of other ones you've probably seen. And it stars Peter Weller. It's actually pretty good. It's, being made in 1995, the CGI is not good. But, if you can have a few drinks, you'll actually enjoy this one.
Nice.
Oh, I can have a few drinks.
We have any honorable mentions, guys?
My only other honorable mention was the thing. That was one of
That was
my
a good
favorite
one.
ones.
I had a couple of other honorable mentions, but they've been mentioned in other people's lists. The only ones that haven't been talked about, John Carpenter's Vampires, or Vampire, whatever, and Bram Stoker's Dracula. I really like those two movies.
Good one.
Yeah. Anything?
You know what? Anything horror, honestly, I'm still new to it, and so anytime I see something, a horror movie, it's either hilarious and scary, but or
I'm
just scary.
gonna tell you about horror movies. I like to be scared.
Yeah. Okay.
The problem is, it's hard for me to get scared at horror movies anymore because I can't just get out of the fact that it's just a movie.
Right.
So it's hard for me to get scared. The scariest movies to me that are horror movies now are the ones that could take place in real life. It's like these ones where your car breaks down in some small town somewhere. There is everybody's in cahoots to kill you and murder you and do whatever. Because that's the scary stuff. It's like, I don't know about all these towns. Everybody seems kind of weird in this town. So
right.
For me, yeah.
I mean, so one, The Grudge. You guys ever seen The Grudge?
Yeah.
That is horrifying.
The first one's creepy, yeah.
The first one. Yeah. The first, I mean, even the Japanese version, which, the American version, is based off of. I mean, gosh, that movie.
I actually saw that one in theaters.
Yeah.
And the first scene where the jump off the balcony, and as soon as they hit the ground, dude in the front row starts cracking up, laughing out loud. It was, from then on, every scene that was supposed to be scary, the entire theater, it was a comedy show. So I couldn't find it funny. Like, the entire theater was laughing the entire
That guy ruined it for you.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was amazing. It was probably one of the best movie theater experiences I've ever had. I don't even like scary movies, but everybody in the theater was packed too. Right, I think it was must have been opening weekend. But yeah, it was great.
Right. That kind of sounds like the time we watched the Predator. They brought in, it was like an old school night. They brought in the Predator, and everybody was just laughing and having an awesome time. Especially when we said get to the chopper. That was it. It was
To the chopper.
It was the
Get
best
to the chopper.
night ever. Absolutely.
I actually do have another honorable mention, a Swedish film by the name of Let the Right One In. There's actually an American version called Let Me In, which is nowhere near as good. The Swedish version is dope as fuck. It's about a little girl who's a vampire, and she's just a little serial killer murderer chick, and the little boy that she befriends to basically take care of her. It's actually creepy as fuck. It's a really good movie. Not worth making my top 5, but honorable mention for that one.
Sounds terrible.
Also, I had another one. It's not important. Let's move on. What did the internet think?
Well, I'll tell you what now. This was the hardest, to date, the hardest internet list for me to put together.
The Japanese version of The Ring was creepy as fuck.
Oh, nice.
Way better than
yeah.
the American one. Okay, go ahead.
So, number one, it's hard to go with the best of all time list on the internet because there's so many. But for whatever reason, this one was hard to chase down. So this is what the internet said. I think I put 8 lists together to try to come up with this.
Fuck.
And Psycho was number 1.
I hope
it was
T.
on
Crawler
7.
appreciates this.
He, you know what? T. Crawler would say, after I would do one of this, he would say, let's completely change the list.
Because you already had the list compiled for the last thing.
Yeah. And I had it, and I made a new one for this one. So Psycho was on 7 of the lists. The Shining was on 6 of the lists. It was the highest up on the 6 lists. Halloween was on 6 of the lists. Alien was on 6 lists. The Thing was on 6 lists. Jaws was on 5 lists. The Exorcist was on 5 lists. The Night of the Living Dead was on 4 lists. Nosferatu was on 4 lists. And Rosemary's Baby was on 3 lists, and that's number 10.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not bad. So, Weapon 2, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What time is it?
What time is it? It's time for this.
Or. Say that.
Say that.
No, you say that.
That.
We got a thing going on here. We're going to say this or that.
And then Jeremy's saying yeah.
Yeah, and
Everybody's
he's going to
saying
say
yeah.
yeah.
All right, ready?
And we're going to do this. We're going to
What
get
between what time is
faster
it?
each time.
What
Ready?
between what time is it?
This
or that.
Yeah.
This
Or that.
Yeah.
You guys
This.
suck. Or that.
Yeah.
this.
Faster. Yeah. That. Fuck this.
Nah, you messed it up, man.
I did. My bad. I got too eager. I'm over eager.
All right, here we go.
My
got
favorite
one job.
segment. My favorite segment.
Here we go.
Hang on. I'm
This
putting the
or
mask
that.
back on. Putting the mask back on.
All right.
It's sweaty.
Number one of our segment, this or that. In this scenario, an alien spacecraft lands on Earth. The aliens ask for people to come back to their planet with them. They say they want their people to learn about other planets from the people that live on those planets. They cannot tell you when or if they will be able to return you to Earth. There's no guarantee if anything they have said is the truth. Would you go with them or remain on Earth?
I have one question.
Yes.
Are the aliens hot?
Does not say. I'm going to say they are mediocre. They are neither completely ugly or horribly attractive.
So they're fives. We'll go with. You want me to go to space with a bunch of fives?
Your list is all human beings and a 5. So this might be in the realm of things a 0 for a human, but as far as humanoid creatures in the universe, a 5.
I'm going with the aliens because my just sheer curiosity about the universe, how it works. Like, I get it. I'm rolling the dice. They might just beam me up and kill me.
They might just eat you.
They might.
Yeah.
But I also might be able to get answers to questions that humanity will never be able to figure out within our existence, and that's a roll of the dice that I'm willing to take. So I'm going with the aliens.
Nice.
Have you guys ever seen Light in the Sky or
No.
Fire in the Sky?
No.
No, thank you.
Is this the exact thing?
Yep. I am beaten feet.
Okay.
I'm not going.
Yeah, I'm out.
You're out? I'm going to tell you what.
You bunch of pussies. What are we doing?
No,
here?
I mean, like, I'm.
Oh, you're
not
leaving?
here.
You're
Yeah.
coming with me?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going.
all right.
You're going?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Wow. All right. I take it back.
If I have family or loved ones on this planet, I'm going to stay. If for some reason I had found myself where that wasn't the case, my spirit of adventure would take me into space.
Beautiful.
Harvey, our sense of adventure. We want to know the way the universe works, don't
Take
we?
the family with me.
Nah, fuck that. We'll leave them. They can't come. There's not enough rooms. But all right.
All right.
That was a good one.
Number 2. If you had a book of your life, would you read it carefully from this point until the end, or skip to the end and see how you die?
I'd read the whole thing.
Carefully.
Yeah.
You would put off knowing how it ends until you'd read all of that book to the end.
Well, here's the problem. What if I get the book and it's 3 pages long? Like, oh, shit.
Well, that would be a hint.
Yeah.
Be a
Hint.
You say,
Better get your
"Excuse me,
affairs in order, bro.
is this the entire book?
Hey, I'm
there's
missing some pages.
missing?
Like, no, you're not. That's all of it. Fuck. Guess I don't need to save any money.
How about you, General Thaddeus?
Well, I've thought of this before in my life. I've thought of this. Okay. I'm like, man, what if I could just see how it ended? You know what I mean? Which
Right.
is really weird. But actually, I would like to read how it goes.
So you would put off knowing how it ends till you had read the whole thing carefully.
There's lots of shit that I want to know if I get to do.
Right.
I wouldn't just skip to the end.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Could
Because
I?
that'll spoil the story if you skip.
Well,
to the
hold
end.
on a second. So me knowing, does that change my outcome?
It changes nothing. It's just wondering whether you can put off
I mean-
knowing what the end is until you've read.
Now we're getting
Everything
into
to
the
that
whole
point.
fucking timeline paradox thing. So maybe,
Right.
maybe we don't know yet.
No.
Okay. Well, I'm still reading the whole thing.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd read the whole thing.
Yeah.
Reading the whole thing.
This is more about the journey.
Okay. Nice. Have I said mine?
No.
Yeah. Okay. I am going to read the whole thing, unless it's a really long read. Then I'm just skipping to the end.
Right.
Okay. Here we go. Number 3. You will be granted your choice of the following: absolute wisdom, absolute strength, or immortality.
Oh, dude. That's absolute wisdom. Here's the thing. Absolute strength is great, but I don't exist in a superhero universe, so I wouldn't use that except to go beat up muggers. Immortality, that blows. All my friends are going to die. I don't want to live forever. What if, a plague happens and wipes out all of the human race, and I'm immortal, and I'm just alive by myself? No, thank you. Absolute wisdom, I could do a lot of cool shit with that. So, absolute wisdom.
Absolute wisdom, 100%.
Thank you. Right?
Knowing everything and 100% every day.
Yep.
I got to go with immortality because if you have absolute wisdom and you only have, say, 70 years on the planet, that's not enough time to change anything. If you have immortality, you have all the time to change things and actually
So you just want to
figure shit out.
So you just want to be a dumb fuck forever then? That's what you want to do.
For me, in order. Number 3, immortality. Number 2, wisdom. Number 1, absolute strength.
We have talked about how much you just want to go clear a room before, so I think that leads into it.
All right, number 4. Would you rather live your entire life in a virtual reality where all your wishes are granted, or in the real world?
Is this a real question? Virtual reality.
So you'd rather live in a pretend world where all your wishes are granted?
I don't know it's pretend. It's real to be.
No. A virtual reality is you're plugged in. You're in
You plug me in the Matrix and I know, but it's everything that I've ever wanted. And all my dreams and fantasies are coming true.
Yes, you know that you know that's not real, but while you're plugged in, all your wishes in this fake world are granted to you.
Plug me in.
Okay.
What are we talking about here?
Okay.
Plugged in.
Thank you.
That just goes back to what we were talking about, the Matrix.
Yes.
The best scene that I can think of is when they're in the when Neo actually knows and he's aware and he's eating at this beautiful restaurant with I can't remember the bad guy's name, but he's eating the steak and he
It was
says,
Cypher. It was
yes,
Cypher eating. Yeah.
Cypher says ignorance is bliss.
Yes, I know that the Matrix is sending a signal to my brain telling me this steak is succulent and juicy. You know what I've realized after 8 fucking years? Ignorance is bliss.
There it is.
100% agree with you.
VR.
Me and Anna Kendrick are going to be hanging out. It's going to be great.
How about you, Harvey?
Well, we're already plugged in, and the robots are just assholes.
Hey, robots. How
I'm
about you
living
give
in
us
the real world.
give
I'm
us some
living in
more
the real world.
subscribers?
Real world. Okay, here we go. Number 5. This is the last question in our this or that section. You are venturing to Skull Island to investigate the mysterious beast King Kong. The villagers say that there's a legend that Kong will befriend a stranger from a faraway land and will do that person's bidding from that point on. They also say that other strangers have tried to make contact with Kong in the past, thinking they were the stranger, and were killed by the giant ape. You have a feeling that you are the stranger of legend. Do you take the chance to attempt to befriend King Kong or not?
No. Everybody thinks they're special. Spoiler alert, none of you are. And also, it's like, what am I going to do if King Kong befriends me? I have a big freaking gorilla. That's cool. What am I going to do with that?
He takes care of your life. Takes care. He's your bodyguard.
Okay, cool. I can't take him everywhere. I can't take him to work with me.
No, you're not telling me you wouldn't make a fortune off of a giant ape that will do anything you tell him to do. You can start any type of a show. You can be in Las Vegas. Everybody will come and spend tons of money to see the giant ape that does what you tell him to do.
Or he fucking eats me.
No, if you listen to what I
didn't.
said, if you are the person of legend, he will befriend you and do your
but what if I'm
bidding.
not? What if I'm not the person of legend?
Yeah, he's gonna kill you.
Well, then no, I'm not rolling the dice. Negative.
Okay.
I'm going to be his friend.
It's a lot of confidence, sir.
Yep.
Nice.
I'm going to be his friend.
Or you're gonna get smashed. You're gonna be fucking monkey pace.
That's okay.
No,
I've made this journey.
I can tell that by his confidence that General Thaddeus is the person of legend.
No.
Thank you.
General Thaddeus is gonna get current stopped by King Kong.
No. I'm going to be his friend. And he's
Okay,
gonna
Harvey,
fight
how about you?
Tyrannosaurus Rex for me.
Well, the problem is, even if he does want to be your friend, he could accidentally squish you.
Thank you.
Like it could be he
Very
like
careful.
roll over in his
He's
seat,
very gentle.
you know, That's it. No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
As
Gentle
far as
lover.
giant apes come, he's a trained professional. He's the best at being a giant ape of anybody else on the planet.
No,
He's very careful.
it's not worth it.
Yeah, I'm turning the boat around.
I am gonna be his best friend, except for maybe in the case that General Thaddeus was, then I'd probably be
Well,
killed.
then how do you know?
I'm gonna
We
give it a
feel
shot.
like
I'm
it's
giving
you.
it a shot.
And then you're getting stepped on.
I'm giving it a shot.
It's not worth it. Payoff is not worth it. But that's it for this or that?
That's that.
That's that. And this. Awesome. Weapon 2. Plug our contest.
Okay, here we go. What I'd like for everybody to do, because we love our subscribers and our top fans and everybody in the world's greatest nation, we want you to go to this YouTube episode of our podcast. We want you to subscribe, be one of our wonderful subscribers. We want you to comment with your name in the comments section so we know who the heck you are. We want you to, I'm going to go ahead and post, hey, go to our Facebook page. I'm going to post the giveaway information again. We want you to post the podcast, share it with your friends. They'll think you're cool. It'll increase your status. In your circle,
In your
in
libido.
your social circle. Yes. If you're a man, all the ladies will love you and think you're great. If you're a woman, the men will think you're wonderful and intelligent and smart, and have a great personality. And
You'll just be a better person
in
all
addition
around.
to how attractive it will make you. And so, where was I? What we also want
It'll make you a
to,
6 if you were a 5.
And then we
You'll become a
also
sex
want
symbol.
you
It's going to be great. You're going to be beating them off.
to share our podcast and along with that giveaway information. And when I think we're at about a 135 right now,
135, yeah.
when we reach 200, we are going to pack a box full of awesome stuff, and we're going to give it away for people. This costs you nothing. All this costs
$3.99.
you is to watch our video, become a fan, subscribe, share this stuff with other people. And we will give you stuff that we purchase with our hard-earned money. And it's placed in a box with tender loving care. It's packed carefully for its protection in shipping. We're sending it with one of the major shipping carriers, If it's damaged in shipping, we'll replace it.
We're not agreeing to that. Just so you know, that's a big negative.
But what we want is you to get this wonderful stuff we're going to give you, and it's all you got to do is what I told you to do.
It's free. It's free.
Yeah,
It's free
so
shit.
just
Who
follow
doesn't like free shit?
Follow instructions.
Everyone likes free shit. Hey, and if you're curious what type of stuff will be in this box, scroll over to our YouTube channel and check out the What's in the Box video where we packed the box for the first lucky winner. Good times were had by all. They unpacked the box, saw cool shit, saw some Funko Pops, a TWG logo t-shirt drawn by this sexy man to my right. Lots of cool shit in there.
An original drawing. I'll draw you a
Original
drawing
of
of
whoever
your
you
favorite
want,
character.
whatever character you
tell
want.
me.
All kinds of fun shit. I don't even know what we're gonna put in the next box. It's gonna
I'll
be.
tell you what. If you get to 200 subscribers, I will engage in an epic rap battle with somebody.
With anyone.
With anyone. I'll bust some rhymes right now. I'll tell you. I'll tell you, man. I'll do it.
He'll do it. He'll do it.
Yeah.
Too. And hey, so thank you for checking out this podcast on whatever platform you're listening to. We are available on the YouTubes, on Spreaker, on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Spotify. If you're not checking us out on YouTube, go ahead and head over to the YouTubes. You could actually watch the video of this podcast in its entirety, see us make a bunch of stupid faces. While you're there, hit the subscribe button. Check out the rest of our content. We just posted a Joker review that Weapon 2 and I did. I went soloed and posted a review for the Will Smith Ang Lee movie Gemini Man. T. Crowler has posted 2 What Gets Me Heated episodes. And hopefully by the time this is up, we'll also have a review up for Zombieland Double Tap. So lots of really cool content, lots of neat shit for you to check out. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. Head over to our Facebook. Link is in the comments. Do all that. Thaddeus, have you had a good time?
I had a blast.
Did you enjoy yourself?
Absolutely.
Will you come back if invited?
Absolutely.
I mean, we need to talk about it first. I'm not sure. But
talk about it. Let me know.
JK Law. No, you were great. Thank you for coming. We will definitely have you back if you want to be a reoccurring guest, as our two admins are. We would definitely like to do that.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming out. We had a great time.
Thank you.
And as always, thank you for joining us on this episode of the world's greatest news and reviews. If you've enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe.
Peace.